All right, we are live. We are live. Greetings, fellow traders. Let me get this tweeted out so everybody can join in here. I don't know. For some reason, when I tweeted it yesterday, it didn't go out. But there we go. Good stuff. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, I hope everybody had a great trading day today. And just make sure everything's coming through okay. Yep, good. Sounds good. Stuff. All right. Well, what a day today. So today we're going to be continuing our conversation on day trading compression. And today we're going to be talking about pullbacks. Kind of like a combination, basically, of what we were talking about yesterday. But I just really want to emphasize how important these pullbacks are and these compressions are. So before we do that, everything we're going to talk about is for educational purposes only and not investment advice. So please take a moment to review this disclaimer. All right, good, good, good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look and see where we left off today in the market, and then we're going to take a look at the futures and see what maybe is in store for tomorrow, at least see what kind of geometric lines we've got going on, what kind of setups might be happening going into tomorrow. And then we'll go over the topic, and then we'll take questions and chart requests. So let's get started. All right, so the SPX, here's the monthly chart on the SPX. I don't know why it brought me all the way back there 2 seconds ago. All right, there we go. So green, right? Monthly chart still going green right here. One more day left in the week, so we'll see how that goes. If they can kind of keep this this month green still. Weekly chart, let's see if they can keep the week green, right? So we've been tagging the Corona crash gap, right? And so apparently there's some bears hiding in there, so they're trying to push it back down, into that gap. But it's such a wonderful target on the weekly chart as we've talked about before. So let's see if we can tag it right here. I mean, we have an upper shadow right now. We had a little bit of a pullback today, about 40 points. But if you go to the daily chart, right? I mean, really, it was just a pullback day. Right? I mean, it was a, kind of got into the gap right here, but we're still holding trend. We're still holding the 8-day moving average, right? And so we're still bullish, still proving otherwise. So let's see what we have in store, going into tomorrow. So a little bit of volume on that one today if you look at the SPY. But it's it's hanging in there. So let's see if it can continue to work its way back up. So again, if things start to really change, right, we'll definitely break down below the trend line. We'll get a trend box on that and see, what's next. Maybe the 50-day, maybe the 200-day in the cloud, right? We've got some open gaps below too, which could potentially get tested. But so far, so good, right? Kind of hanging in there. So the big movers, right, have been the FANG stocks these days. They've been, dragging it up and then dragging it back down. So let's see how that goes going into tomorrow. So tomorrow is Friday. So just remember, guys, tomorrow's Friday, so watch out for option expiration day. Watch out for theta. Consider trading next week's options. One, because of the less theta, and two, so you don't get assigned unless it's part of your trading plan. So good stuff there. So let's take a look at the price action from today. So pretty fun stuff today. We actually had some movement. So we've been enjoying opening flat a couple days instead of gapping up 50 points, gapping down 50 points, where they take a lot of meat off the bone in the pre-market action, from the futures. But today was pretty cool, right? So we opened flat and we chopped, right? So we stayed pretty safe during this whole thing. Well, we stayed really safe during this whole thing, just avoiding some moves. There were a couple of scalpy moves there at the open, but for the most part, we just kind of hung in there. So I tweeted out earlier. I said, today the open was the setup. Now normally we get some good setups at the open. We get some nice moves, right? But today the whole opening was the setup, right? So we triangulated right in the open, right? And then we started to break below there when this started happening, right? Some of the big tech names really started to move, right? Amazon, Apple. Right, started to break to the downside, and that really started to chip away at the market, right? And then we had some key levels, right? I mean, you can kind of see, here, we'll take a look at on the futures right here. But once we lost the geometric trend line, the geometric line from a couple days ago on the futures, right? It was the composure had really changed, right? The ADMA is starting to point down right here. We had one up move right here, but some great shorting opportunities today. So it was some good stuff there. On the intraday price action, right? So here's the levels that we provide to our members for each market open. Plus we provide our signal zones on the futures chart, right? So triangle right here, break down, right? Got to our couple key levels right here, and then once we lost the prior day's low, right? We got a nice move to the next level, kind of hung in there a little bit, like boom, got to the next level, and then really tested some key volumetric levels today on the SPX. So that was good. Let's take a look at the S&P futures and see what they did. And I'll show you the line I'm talking about right here. I showed this, guys, when I do like my morning stuff or on YouTube and Twitter, I show, of course we talk about it more in the group, but this is really, really helpful stuff, right? So this line was a really key area right here from back on, right, early in the morning, right, at 3 a.m. And then we tagged this line right here. It gave us a great trend line up, right here. And then once we lost that here today, and we lost a couple key signal zones, right, we really had a nice drop off of that. So that was your real big change of composure right here. We had some nice moves, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, nice scalping moves right here to get to the next levels, right, from here to here, right? But then it really started to go after that. So we got really tight here. We got a compression, and now that is leading to expansion here after hours. So we got a couple cool levels that we could look at going on tomorrow. So we got this, right? That's going to be interesting, right? And we'll see how the rest of that plays out right here. And then we got these guys right here. So let's see how well this this forms going into tomorrow. So we're kind of chopping around between these zones in this triangle right now, and we'll see if they have any action for us for Friday. So it should be pretty cool stuff. So good. So let's take a look and go over the topic here today. So today we are going to be talking about day trading compression and finishing up our conversation on that. And today we're going to be talking about pullbacks. So very similar to what we were talking about yesterday. Really, it's the key thing is this, right? Sometimes you've got to take like a 100 foot view, right? Just kind of step back from the market and kind of see what's going on. Because sometimes you can get really involved, especially on a 1 minute chart. You can be like, oh, okay, wait, this candle's putting an upper shadow right here off of this level. Got a little increased volume, right? That's what we want to refine our entries. But it always helps to zoom out, right, and really kind of see what's going on. And I love doing it on the shorter term time frames, even the 1 minute chart, because we can really see, one, the geometric lines, what's happening there, and then what's going on, right? So for chart patterns, setups, and things like that. So here today, right, just kind of zooming out on this 1 minute chart, look what happened, right? Once we push down right here, we got a nice compression here, right? No double inside, maybe triple inside 5 right here where we broke down. But look what happened. We got really tight right here, right? And so when we look at that, right, we need to evaluate that as a snapback or a pullback on the reverse side right here, right? So what we do is, right, we do this, right, and sometimes we just have to estimate that, especially when the pivot begins, to see where that compression is leading, right? So you can see we got really tight right here, and that ended up turning into a tight pullback or tight snapback to that level. If you go to the if you go to the 15-minute chart, right, well, we didn't have it on this, but you had it on the SPY. Actually, it's on the Qs. So the Qs today, right? So look at this. So we had this going on today. These levels right here. A nice triangle right there. And then this level right here after this pivot, right? So look at that. Beautiful. So what happens? We get really tight here, right? So when you zoom out, you can kind of see how compressed it's getting, right? So it's getting really tight in here, right? The stock market is full of energy, right? So when it gets really tight in there, right? A lot of times, sometimes we'll look at this stuff and trade, oh, I want to take a nap. When you don't feel like you want to take a nap during the day, you zoom out and look what's going on, right? So we've moved, right? We moved down from pre-market here. This is on the Qs. We moved down pre-market. We got really tight, and we pulled back to already this geometric trend line. This trend line right here, this geometric line, right? So we got really tight. So what's going to happen? Well, we don't know, right? Nobody knows, right, what's going to happen, but we can follow price after it does this, or after it releases this energy, right? And in this case, it was to the downside, and it was very clear that was the case because look at the volume that started to come in right here on these, boom, downside moves. That volume just really increases almost like 3 times the volume on this candle. Left you with a lower shadow right here, but you go to the lower term time frames on that, right? You can start to find some entries, right here. Look at that volume on this 5 minute candle. Whoa. Look at that. Big move right there. Easy entry right there, right? Easy place to put a stop. You can even put it right over the 15 orb low. Okay, risk reward, fantastic, right? Great move right here. Quick bear flag, nice compression, right? So here, you get this going on, right? Look at that. Okay, so you go from these lines to these lines. Are we getting tight? Let's zoom out. Are we getting tight? Yeah, you bet we are, right? We're getting tight right here. You just kind of see it, right? You can just see the compression, right? You can kind of zoom out and see it. So we get really compressed on that pullback, that snapback to the trend line, and then boom, more energy released, right? Look at that. Look at all that volume. That thing just flushed after that. It was beautiful. Beautiful stuff. So that's the importance of these things. So I think it's important to be able to kind of zoom out and kind of look and see what's going on, right? So you go to the daily charts, right? If you kind of zoom out on here, you can really just see where all that compression is happening, right? It's getting really tight right here, right? Nice tight to that pullback. Okay, cool. So now let's look. Let's go in and look and see if we can refine an entry. Sometimes we go to a lower time frame, but look at that. Nice volume coming in right here off of these candles, and then we got a nice compression and then an expansion move. Look how tight it got here before we just started. It just got zany up here, right? And then boom, give a nice pop to the upside, right? Same thing here. So now we just see what's going on right now. So Qs itself, right? We recently hit all-time highs in this one. They've been divergent from the market. So so at this point here, we're going to see how we handle this upward trend line on the Qs, right? FANG has been kind of dragging everything back and forth, and so right now we're down on some big volume here today. But now tomorrow is going to be a key day, right? Now do we break down below there? If we do, are we going to short it over the weekend? No. Right, because that would just be our first day down, right? So that would just give us a trend box over those levels, and then we'll see where it takes us on Monday. Then some folks would be like, well, John, what happens here, right? If I short here and we gap down right here, right? Well, okay, so you missed that. And so what happens if you're short and it caps up here? It gets back over the trend line, right? So it's kind of like 6 in one hand, half dozen the other, right? You just have to be careful, right? So we wait for confirmation, right, with some volume. So let's see how that plays out on the Qs going through the weekend. But right now it was a fun pullback today, so I like it when we're going up. We get premiums are decent. You can catch some good shorts because they go so fast and they can be really, really fun. So anyway, good stuff. So that is all I have to talk about here today. So at this point, if anybody has any questions or chart requests, and I hope you guys found that helpful, please feel free to play this in the chat window. We'll get through as many as we can, try to wrap up as early as possible so we can all have a good night's sleep and have another awesome trading day tomorrow. So good stuff. So Dylan sent a few. So we sent a few in here via Twitter. So let's take a look and see what we've got going on here today. So we have ANTM. Let's take a look. So ANTM's getting, look at that. Let's zoom out right here. It's getting really, really compressed, right? It's getting really, really tight in that range, right? So do we want to do anything with that? No, we want to wait for some indication that it's getting ready to go, right? So it's getting really tight here. It could be a bear flag, could be just channeling up. So let's see if we can get some volume on this one and break out one way or the other. Earnings are coming up pretty soon, so it's probably going to give us a clue after earnings. So look at ANET. So ANET's looking pretty good right here. So look at that. It got really, really tight, right? Really, really compressed, right? And then it gives us a nice breakout candle or some huge volume, right? Starting to come in. Then boom, we got a nice move outside. Where were we for this one? How come we didn't catch these breakouts of the cloud? That was a fantastic move right there. Great follow through on a nice earnings run on that one. Now, how far is it going to go from here? We'll see. I mean, it's got like, it's already had an epic, energy release on that one. It's kind of coming up to these pivot levels up here. So let's see how it holds those going forward. Let's take a look at Roku. Okay, guys, Roku. What do you think? Compression? You bet. Which way is this going to go? No idea, right? But it's holding a geometric line right here. It's holding this level, but let's wait to see if it starts to break out, right? And we also look intraday, right? We day trade the go-to list names, right? We look for some big moves. So if this thing starts to move, right, we're definitely going to check these levels right here. I know it's really nasty with all my lines, but we're looking at these levels, see if we can break out of those levels, right? So in the meantime, we're getting compressed. So we want some clues on this one, right? Now, when it breaks down with some big volume, yeah, we're going to look to go short and see where it takes us from there, right? That's the idea, okay? So good. So let's take a look at Boeing. So Boeing is getting really, really tight, guys. This is one I definitely want to share with you guys. So I mean, it's doing really a symmetrical move from what it did before, right? So you had this. Look at that triangle right here. Down. I mean, this is almost a mirror image of it. Up, 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 up. Look at that. 4 good candles. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Down 3 candles. Ish. Right there. Then up. Then a down move. Down move. A little bit of a slide down. Right. An up candle. I mean, it's literally like almost comparable to the this previous move. So let's see what it has in store. We're getting really, really tight right here, like we got right here. So let's, we got some geo levels below. Waiting to see what it's going to do, right? So earnings could be very, very interesting on it, and I'd like to see what it does after earnings. Maybe it'll give us a gap up, and then do another one of these kind of 4 candles up right there on that. Maybe get us up to the 200-day moving average. We'll see. We'll see what they have in store. They'll probably get horrible earnings, right? I mean, everybody's expecting it, right? So if it's anything like Twitter, right, it'll just go ahead and gap up and move up, right? So we'll have to see what they have in store on that one. Okay. Cigna. Big range, big volume, decent volume here today. It's got earnings coming up too. Geometric analysis here, just kind of getting tight in these levels, kind of floating there under the cloud. I'd like to see it, really tell us which way it's going to go with some volume, things like that. So we'll keep an eye on that there. Shake Shack inside day. Okay, so let's see if we can break above those levels and go one way or the other on that one. It's got earnings coming up not too far away. Shake Shack can be a fun one with earnings. I'd really like to see what they have to say about their corona issues. SPLK Splunk. Okay, so outside day today, it's close below the ADMA. We're getting, kind of tight, right? Maybe falling wedges right here, but didn't close out of those. I like the volume, but it's kind of holding right now. So let's just keep an eye on it if you like it. See if it gives any clarity going forward on that one. And then PD. Speed duty kind of hanging in there, right? It looked like it was bear flagging, and then guess what it did? It decided to break out above here with good volume. It's kind of consolidating a little bit. Let's see if we can get some more movement to the upside on that one. Maybe get back over its original upward trend line. So good there. And then pins. So pins, Very similar to Facebook, right? Red candle, doji sandwich, and then down, right? And now it is holding a lot of these levels right here, so just kind of be careful with that. But also not as much volume either. But see if it'll give you any clues on that one. But it does look like it's trying to at least come down and maybe test the trend line. So earnings coming up not too far away on that. So good stuff. Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate it. Shirley, what's going on? COG Cog. Let's take a look at COG. So again, oil stocks perked up today. At the end of the day, it's pretty wild stuff. So oil and airlines, for whatever reason, decided to rip it, a little bit. So anyway, nice move here over the 50-day moving average. I like the candle. A little bit of an upper shadow on this one, right? Kind of contending with a couple levels right there. But we got some room here in the cloud to kind of slide up there. Just see if we can get over today's highs and see what, how that handles it going into tomorrow. Apple, of course, beautiful, beautiful. This is a great trade in the group today. Just standing out as a hey, short me. I know it's hard to short Apple because it's holding trend for so long, but once we lost that upper trend line here, there, right, it's go time, right? What do we got, right? So we start getting really compressed, right? Let's look here. Oh, we got compressed. Okay, it breaks out, breaks down, right? Volume, right? Big volume, right? Gets compressed again, right? Gets compressed again, volume, big volume, right? So I'm just a beautiful, beautiful move on Apple today. Love it. Okay, so what did it do? Are we going to short it overnight? No. Why would we, right? It's still in the trend box. It formed the trend box today. It's the first day it finally broke down. First day Apple finally broke down out of its upper trend line here from the Corona recovery, right? So it's coming back down here. Now tomorrow we're going to see if it closes below those levels in volume. Will we short? We attempt to short it if it breaks down below these lows. If we don't gap up tomorrow, it's up a little bit after hours. Yeah, right. I mean, we might get a momentum mover. I mean, we'll look for a setup intraday on the shorter term time frames, but right now we're still watching it, right? So trend box in here, so we'll keep an eye on that, see where that goes from there. And then Netflix, beautiful move today, guys. This one I was liking a lot because it was already kind of setting up, right? It already had earnings that were bad. It gapped down. It consolidated, right? Compression. It got real compressed here, right? And then what did it do? It started to break down today. Now, normally I would look to try to short this thing, but we're so close to the trend line here. The risk reward just isn't there, right? But we're close to the trend line here. Let's see how it handles it. Maybe it'll give us a low volume pullback or a bounce off of it with high volume tomorrow, and then maybe Netflix will start to work its way back up again because the premium would be great because the premiums are getting a little bit better. So we keep an eye on that one. QCOM, nasty little breakdown there today too. See if we can get some trend lines up here. Oh, we need to clear this. There we go. So you got this. Okay, holding trend, just like NASDAQ. Okay, so still bullish, still proven otherwise, right? They're trying to prove otherwise, we're not quite there yet. Earnings coming up on that one too. And then Shell, the Shell company. Yeah, so that one's breaking down as well. Nasty breakdown on that one. That looks pretty good, right? So I mean, just something to keep an eye on there on the short side. Give me one second. I'm going to add that to the list because it does look interesting. I like the volume that came in there. This is probably one I wouldn't trade, but I'm going to put it out there as a Friday idea. Give me one second. Next week's options. Okay, and then here, I like that SHLF. Looks pretty cool. Good. Then we got some interesting ones coming up for tomorrow. There. We got these guys. There. Okay. Sit there. All right, good. All right, thank you. Awesome, good stuff. Cool. Thank you, Shirley. Mike, what's going on? What's up, you? Wasn't your best trade today? It happens. It happens, right? So, but it's okay. So you're looking to bounce back tomorrow with some good setups. Nice. Yeah, let's take a look at Amazon. Take a look at Amazonius there. Yeah, so it's tough, right? We went into the morning today kind of bearish on the day, just the way everything was pulling back pre-market. But we didn't do anything at the open. We waited, right? Because it just kept on chopping around, right? And it wasn't until it gave us some clarity on that today that's where we started to look for shorts. But we had a kind of a little bit of a bearish sentiment going into today, right? So, but anyway, good stuff. Yeah. So let's take a look at Amazon, right? So if you look at Amazon here, right, this is why we were bearish this morning. Here, let me show you. So obviously we were pulling back already, right? So down move, pause day down, right? So kind of like a doji sandwich type move right there. But look what it was doing pre-market, right? I'm not saying this, it's not going to move down and then bounce back up, right? But it really just started to kind of just, kind of blah in the morning. So that gave us that kind of sentiment. The ADMA was like coiling down and all that stuff. So like, okay, all right, Amazon, if you want to bounce and you want to go, prove it. Get over the ADMA and close above it, and show me that you want to reverse and start to take out these pre-market levels, right? Well, it couldn't do it, right? It couldn't do it. So it was just kind of hanging out here, just chopping around. Okay, so guess what, guys? Compression, expansion, right? Same stuff. Okay, compression. You can see it right there. With the compression, all right, where's it going to expand? Is it going to go to the upside? Maybe, right? We've seen plenty of reversals off these levels. So let's draw some lines and see what happens. Nope. Breakdown, right? Through the geometric, that big volume, double volume on that one, and see it for 70 points to the downside, right? Okay, So we broke down right there. Again, I love Amazon. I love this trend line for Amazon right here. I want to see how it handles it. So is it going to get some follow through the downside? Maybe. Maybe we had some good volume today, right? Let's see if we can break it down. We're still over the upper trend line, so we're not, full bearish on it. But if it does pull back here, I definitely want to see how it handles it and see if we can get a bounce off of it. It's pretty cool stuff. Amazing stuff. This stuff is just, like, seemed like invincible going all the way up. Can actually pull back a little bit. It's kind of cool. Tesla, let's take a look. Like Tesla, right? So, oh, hey, we got up. Everything's awesome. Well, it was pretty cool last night. Right? We talked about the, the market maker expected move. Well, market maker won today, right? All the out of monies got crushed today. Sorry for everybody who, is playing lottos, but that's the idea, right? So they kept it in that range, and we've talked about this before, right? We talked about this on the earnings series that we did, not too long ago, right? And so we stayed within the market maker range. What did it do? Reverse off of it, right? They reversed it down, and what else happened? Right? Pre-market. Could it get over its pre-market levels? Nope. Could it get over the after-hours levels? No. So was it going to gap and go? No. Right? Not unless it closed above it. Right? So here, right, reversal. So nice initial short on Boeing right here. On Tesla right here, it was also a 60 anchor yesterday, right? Then it gave, some nice breakdowns here out of those levels. And then see ya. Have a nice day, Tesla. So yeah, so we'll see how it goes today. It's bearish engulfing candle today. We're actually at this double inside day level right there. So let's see how that holds. That was definitely a compression, right? A congestion zone area of interest. Right? Nvidia. Let's take a look. Okay, so Nvidia, right, pulled back, holding trend, right, with some volume, right? So we're not necessarily going to buy the dip on this one, but we want to see what it could do. If it was low volume pullback, maybe we'd look at it, right? Let's see what it does tomorrow. Maybe it'll give us a nice high volume bounce off of that. Maybe we'll get a nice earnings run, which would be cool. It is still holding trend. So good stuff. Yeah, my pleasure. Have a good one, Mike. Good to see you, man. Benson, yeah, so let's take a look here. So let's say NBR. Neighbors. Howdy, neighbors. Neighbors Industry, let's take a look. Inside day up today. Wow. Big candle yesterday. Great pause day yesterday. It's a nice move there. Just when you thought it was doing an inverse head and shoulders. Right? Shoulders, big head, shoulders. I mean, it still could. Right? Let's see what it does coming up to earnings here. But nice follow through today off of that inside day. Beautiful stuff. And then Nike. Schnikes. Woo. Just pausing around right there. Inside day. Right? So looked like it was doing a bull flag earlier. Now it's kind of triangulating, failing to break out of that triangle right there. So, you kind of got these levels right here. Really, really tight and choppy and nasty. So it's probably hands up. But is it compressing? Yeah, kind of, sort of. Let's see if Nike can actually do a breakout one of these days. D-Dog. So D-Dog here. Yeah, so this is pretty cool, right? So it never got back above this geometric trend line right here, right? Chagago came back down again, right? So you had kind of like these levels here. It's getting really, really tight. Then it kind of broke down through there with some volume. A little bit of a lower shot right here, so it is holding these levels, right? But a breakdown below today's lows, and these lows right here, we might come and test the 50-day moving average on it. We'll see. I like D-Dog, right? It's been really, really super duper strong forever, like the FSLY and the LBGO, right? So let's see what it's up to here. It's finally like showing that it's not invincible, right? That type of thing. So we'll keep an eye on it. Keep an eye on those lows from today. ZEK, what's going on? Thanks for tuning in. TSM. A little bit of pullback today. Nice bounce off the 8-day moving average. How? I tell you guys, oil was pretty wild today. Nice Morobozu candle on that one, right? So we got this going right here. Just beautiful, beautiful. Look how compressed this got there. We already had one. Boom, beautiful. Oil just came out of nowhere, right? So this is what we were talking about. Remember Amazon? We said it's under the 8-day moving average. Okay, yeah, it's breaking down here pre-market. Whoa. It closed above the 8-day moving. It said, no, I don't want to be bearish, right? So it's kind of working up here. They got really, really tight. Then you got a huge volume candle to get out of that triangle, out of that, this compression right here, and then boom, just follow the 8-day moving average up. It said, nope, I want to change. I want to go back up. So good. See you guys today. Follow through tomorrow. LX. Lex Luthor. Lex Fintech. So, wow, nasty candle today. Yeah. You can tell people didn't want to be in that one today. So it's a little bit tough right here. It's coming to this prior congestion zone right here, but a little lower shadow off the cloud. But nice down move on that one today. Woo! Down 15%. Good. So at home, big inside day today. So only down 48 cents, but see how that holds on that one. And then Kratos. Kratos Defense and Security Solutions. Big candle yesterday. Possible pause day, possible doji sandwich here today. Right, this one's an interesting one. Now yesterday was huge, right? Like LMT and a lot of those aerospace, defense names. So it's pretty cool to see that move off of that one. Now here's a defensive name, right? Tupperware. So nice break over that doji, upper shadow high. So yeah, so let's see if the follow gets a little earning runs on that one. Good stuff. Thanks, UK. Cesar, what's going on? T, yeah, let's take a look at the big T. A whole lot of nothing still, right? So it's pretty cool stuff there today. So we had earnings, right? Today, right? So it's kind of holding, right? So here's that geometric line right here, holding, holding. Oh, bounced right off of it today. So is it bullish? Not necessarily. Was it low volume? No, definitely not. Do we want to see it break out of something like this right here before we start looking at it? Yeah. So let's see if we can break over here. If it keeps going, maybe we'll get a nice breakout thing over the cloud, breakout candle over the cloud, and then get to the open gap right here. Okay, awesome stuff. Z, what's going on? Yeah, I hope you're having a great day too. Yeah, let's take a look at Target, guys. Great candle yesterday. Nice little gap up here today. And a pullback back into the triangle, right? So there's this triangle, and then there's like the triangle, right? So this from all-time highs, this geometric line from all-time highs. So I really want to see it get above that, right? So a nice close at like 125 with some volume would be really great on Target. Costco got a nice little move this morning. Pulled back there, so let's see. Let's take a look. Yeah, give a good push this morning. It was like nope. Compression, right? Expansion. Okay. Did it close over the ADMA? Today? Yeah, sure it did. Did it do it on any really increasing volume? Not really. Right? Do we have a lot of upper shadows? Yeah. And then did it break down with everything else? Yep, it did. So interesting right here. So 2 red days in a row. Still holding the 8-day moving average. See what it does from there. Okay. Microsoft, Mr. Softy. So this one pulled back a little bit here, right? So we had earnings, right, today. So it had great earnings, and of course it pulled back off of that, right? So it is what it is. But we've already had a trend box on this one. We're right kind of at the low end of the trend box right here. Keep an eye on this one. If tomorrow, if it closes, nasty with some volume below these lows, Microsoft might be an interesting short, possibly to the 50-day. So we're gonna keep an eye on that one too. Netflix, again, great move down out of that compressed little bear flag that we've been looking at right there today. So I like it. I would like to continue to be short on it, except we're right at the upward trend line right there. So the risk reward is just not there. Let's see how it holds it tomorrow. And then AMD, nasty pullback, right? It just got nasty pullback, just down with the market and all that stuff, and then whoa after hours, right? So some pretty crazy stuff right there, right? Why did it do it? Well, because Intel, right? So Intel had like. And they actually had good earnings. Right? I think they had like a earnings beat and a revenue beat, and then they just flushed. And I think one of the things that these AMD goes head to head with Intel with, right, is like something like their cloud stuff or something like that. And so once Intel reported bad cloud stuff, AMD just kind of went up and just went inverse to it, right? So really, really neat stuff right there. So this is over at 64.77 here at a high after hours. So tomorrow, right, it could gap up to all-time highs, right? So what are we going to do tomorrow if we get over that 64.77 or whatever the pre-market high is? We're going to look for a gap and go on AMD. Okay, and that could be a really, really fun one to trade on a Friday. All right, so just keep it, just remember it's Friday lotto, or think you could trade next week's lottos too. We got earnings coming up too, so premiums are starting to get a little bit higher on AMD. But a gap and go tomorrow on AMD would be so cool to see it go like 20 points or something like that. But we'll see what it has in store tomorrow. We're definitely gonna be tracking that one. So good stuff. Nice. All right, the Nest, what's going on? Vroom, 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 vroom. Let's take a look, see how that's behaving here. Yeah, it's hanging in there. It held the opening day, that key level here from the opening day high. It bounced off of that nicely, so good stuff there on Vroom. LBGO. LBGO, the forever bullish stock, right, is still pushing to all-time highs right here, but it did pull back after that. So again, we're kind of in this range right now. Let's see if we can continue. See if we can get some good intraday setups on that one to keep going. SPCE gave a couple little pops today. And then it gave some big downside moves right here. Almost a full bearish engulfing candle on that one, but a couple pops at the open, a couple drops at the during the day, and then a nice little pop there, once it hit its lows, right? So really, really tricky there with the outside day. So not going to mess with that one right now. That one's basically look for the highs and lows in that one to see which way it really wants to go. So pretty cool stuff there. And then let's take a look at Octa. All right, so Octa, again, another outside day on that one too. Not full bearish engulfing, but a big upper shadow off of that one, some volume. So watch below today's lows. If they flow money out of like some of the software names, just watch out. Right? Okay, now double inside day down and just face planted in the 8-day moving average right there. So let's see how I can hold that one. Right, AYX. AYX still holding trend. Still holding trend. It's an increased volume here, so see, we need to bounce off of that, right, for it to get really interesting. Right, Etsy. basically forming its own little trend box right now. So something to keep an eye on there. See if it breaks down below these lows, if it gets any more downside movement. Rand, what's going on? Intel, let's take a look. Yeah, so Intel was the one with the earnings, right? So this, got AMD triggered, literally, right? So inside day down today, it's at the ADMA, right? Still in this triangle range right here. It looks like it's gapping down to 53. Oh my goodness. Woohoo! Woo! 53, 54. Right in this range here tomorrow. Oh my goodness, that is a gap. Wow. So definitely pay attention to a couple levels right here. You got this level right here at 52, 53 level. You got this here, seen in the breakout right here. You got an open gap right here, which could be in play, right? Depending on how they do it tomorrow. Wow, Intel is going to be interesting tomorrow for sure. That's a big gap on that one. Investors not happy. Like a lot of times, right? You see this big move down, you get a 0.618 retrace or 50% retrace. Not good, right? It's still drifting down. So this is going to be a fun one to look at tomorrow. And sometimes the options are actually pretty nice on it too. So we could get an interesting setup on that. We'll see how it handles its pre-market levels. Good stuff. The Nest, FSLY. Let's take a look. Still doing that thing. Nasty pullback there, inside day down. Let's see, we're kind of looking, if this was an end of impulsive move, maybe we're just correcting our way down right here. Pretty sharp move down here, so I'm thinking that's an A, B, and then maybe another sharp move down. I'm thinking maybe the cloud or 50-day moving average, then we get another bounce off of it for it to decide to keep going. We'll see. We'll see what it's got in store there. But in the meantime, it's kind of still chopping around the trend box on that one, right? And then OLED. OLED. OLED, yeah, still kind of chopping around there in the in its macro triangle right there. Upper shadow, but just kind of, compression, blah, that type of stuff. So good. JMOS, what's going on? Spots. Spot on with Spotify. I said, I should have put that on the bearish radar for tomorrow because of the upper shadow from yesterday. Oh, just nasty. Just nasty. So here's what happened, right? So we had a big breakout candle right here with inside day. Failed to take the inside day up. What happens when you fail to take the inside day up, inside candle up? Good chance you're going to test 50% of the range. Decent chance that you're going to test the low end of the range. And that thing just bleh, just not actually interesting too on less volume. But yeah, just nasty. I just wanted out of that one today. Wow. So Walmart, let's take a look. Walmart still holding the 8-day moving average right there, so just kind of still being in compression, just up, down, that type of stuff, right? SPCE with the outside day, right? So we're just going to kind of keep an eye on the highs and the lows, see how it handles those levels right there. mRNA, down a little bit after hours. I think there was some news like that somebody else got like some vaccine stuff, and so it was just kind of like sad today. So it's basically in that prior inside day range. See how it handles that tomorrow. Yeah, good stuff. My pleasure. Really appreciate it. Z, what's going on? Great lesson. Thanks. Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, look for those compressions. Zoom out, right? Look at, okay, we're getting really, really tight in here, and let's wait for a breakout. Right? You want to trade in there, right? Unless you're selling premium in there, right? And then wait for the breakout, and then see if there's setups in the direction of the breakout. That's how we roll. Jay, what's going on? Hello, hello. Jay, just watching and learning tonight. I love it. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great day. Gio, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Let's take a look. We got SAP. Let's take a look. There's a fun one. That's a fun one if you like the gaps, right? So any of these ADRs, right, they always gap up based on where where it was in their exchange of origin, right? So we've got that going on right here, going over here. So a little bit of a bump line, right? So kind of an interesting, right, 3-star top right there. In a way, kind of like an evening star reversal. So see how that goes right here. You get the open gap below, but again, it doesn't really trade that smoothly on that. But yeah, nasty pullback on that one today. Just be careful. You got earnings coming on that one too. IBM, pretty interesting right here. It's just a double inside day, right? We're below a 200-day moving average, so see if we get a move on that one. See how tech reacts to the Intel move, but definitely keep an eye on AMD tomorrow, guys. Zoom, okay, inside day-ish, down-ish, right below the upper trend line right here. Not a lot of volume, but it's got other levels it could test right here. I mean, there's so many. This thing's all over the place here, but we're right there right now. So see how it holds that, and what kind of volume, what kind of action we get tomorrow around those lows if it gets to it. Johnson & Johnson hanging out, right? Getting really, really tight again. We had this big bull flag, right? Huge bull flag right here. So it could be starting in, this massive, wave up. But again, decent breakout candle right here. Earnings kind of hung in there, right? So just now at this point, let's just see if we can get above those highs right there and see where it goes at that point, right? So TTD, let's take a look at that breakdown a little bit right there on some volume. So definitely want to keep on the short side there if it breaks down below today's low. So that could be interesting too. And then OCTA. Yeah, so software looking interesting for tomorrow. So I'm going to need to write a note on that too. Software. Good. Yeah, so nasty on that one as well. So OCTA on the red side there too. I'm gonna put that on the short radar too. Okay, good. Yeah, I'm definitely putting AMD on the long radar for tomorrow, for sure. Okay, so good stuff. All right, thanks, Cesar. What's going on? Yeah, Tesla. I know, the new Widowmaker, exactly. I mean, it has been for a while, right? We know the rules, like, don't short Tesla, but when it gives so many great setups like that, right? If you don't mind it, if you're not faint of heart, look at that. Woo! So many good moves there. Brutal. Buying the dip on that one was brutal. Right, so you gotta be careful with that one. Good stuff. Almo, what's going on? Facebook. Yeah, Facebook got crushed. Right, so what do we have? We had a red candle right here. Pause day, doji sandwich, and down. Right, so this was one of the nicer ones today. And in just terms of I mean, if you guys trail bar by bar in the 15, this is one of those ones that just keeps you in the trade all day long. Beautiful, right? Not until ever, right? Not until, I mean, just good. Held the 80 MA all day today. Just a beautiful, beautiful breakdown on Facebook today. You gotta love it. So good stuff there. So we'll see where it goes. Right, daily chart, right? Daily chart, right? We're right at the 50 days to see if that holds in. Again, we've been talking about this pullback to the upward trend line, which is corresponding right with the cloud right there. I'd love to see a nice low volume pullback to that. And then we got earnings coming up, and then it might get a little bit of a boost off that. But we'll see how it handles that. ZS, yeah, nice outside day there too. Did hold the 80 MA on that one. So again, it might just be a little bit of a pullback there too. A little bit of volume, but it's still on the 8 day. So good stuff. Woo! Cesar, yeah, good, because I'm shorting nice. Well, let's see if we can get some downside movement on that one. Tracy, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Lululemon. Oh no, what happened? It was so bullish this morning. I can't trade this name, but anyway, so I won't. I just won't. But anyway, bullish candle. I did get some nice upside movement today, and then it was like, nope. Yoga pants stretch, boom, all the way to the downside today. So yeah, so just kind of keep an eye on that one there, and actually a bearish engulfing candle, right? So the real body's engulfing the prior real body too. It closed right on the 8 days, so just keep an eye on those lows right there, and it's still holding its upward trend line. So just something to look at there. And then TTD, yeah, TTD breaking down pretty good too. So any of these kind of weird software names, yeah, just a little bit of blah. Bagesh, what's going on? Good evening. Hope you're doing well. Zoom, the Zumba. So Zumba's got like lots of levels, right? Lots and lots of levels, right? So we got this. Okay, so that's the big one, right? Here, you kind of do some geometrics over here, right? So, below these lows, really, kind of under 240 gets really interesting, right? We might just chop around to those areas, but you might get a little bit of a move down there. So let's see how that holds. And then after that, oh, look at that open gap right there. Ugh. Anyway, so we'll see how that holds going in tomorrow. Could be interesting. DG. 180 degree reversal right there, bearish engulfing candle. So, but it's only 8 day, so you got that going on right there. And then TGT, decent pullback on TGT, but it stayed within 50% of the range of that breakout candle from yesterday. Well, not breakout candle, but strong candle from yesterday. Yesterday's candle was a nice inside day up too. Beautiful. So we'll see how that holds right there. Not quite dark out cover, just just kind of a pullback right there. So see how it holds. Could be very interesting. Alma, so does your system draw the auto trend lines? I wish it did. No, it doesn't. We could probably get it programmed one day, but we do a couple different things, right? So we do our trend lines, right? If you go on our YouTube channel and check out the 3-minute video on trend lines or a 3-minute series in the playlists, right? You'll see how we do trend lines, right? I tweet it also every Saturday, so everybody kind of get on board and all that stuff. Right, so that's the basic trend lines, but we also use these geometric lines, which we've talked about before when setting up geometric chart patterns, right? So again, this is not a true trend line right here, but it's a geometric line here that forms geometric lines form geometric shapes, right? So just like geometry class, right? So so you have a triangle right here, right? So we're seeing how that goes. But yeah, I draw it manually, but it's good. It's good to be able to see it, right? Because then you start to get really proficient at it, right? But yeah, it would be cool. Mr. Green, what's going on? Great name. Let's take a look here. So we've got Eric. Let's take a look. So Eric, yeah, it's not really a bearish engulfing candle. It's a red candle right here, but it did give a good move up right here. So just kind of see what it does, right? It might be trying to form like a bull flag up there. That's a huge breakout since earnings, right? So it's kind of hanging on to that, right? Geo, yeah, CTAS. Yeah, good candle right there. Nice breakout on that one. Yeah, we had earnings today, right? Yeah, before the market. Yeah, so nice move on this one. It got above these levels right here. A little bit of a gap and go type move today, but couldn't do the real job right there and get above the stay above the all-time high zone. But a really, really good move on that one today. Cintas, the uniform company, pretty cool stuff. And then AAL, let's take a look. Yeah, American Airlines, worse than expected earnings, bullish, right? The market just loves that stuff, right? So it's like, oh no, we lost, right? It should be going down. Nope, 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 nope. Just squeeze. Squeeze back. Because everybody's getting short, and then it starts squeezing. Whoa, everybody starts covering and really kind of lift off, right? Z, do you have any videos on the gray zone rectangle in the back in the demand bar? Which one? Like, which one are we talking about? Let me know. Let me know which one you mean by that. So, but yeah, for our trend lines and all that stuff to do the trend boxes, yeah, we have those. That's definitely just in that trend line video on the playlist. Be sure to check that one out too. Oh, just DM me later. Let me know exactly like show me a screenshot of what you're talking about. Something that we looked at, so I can let you know. So good stuff, Mr. Green. Yeah, and then UNG. Let's take a look. UNG. Look at that. Woo! How about that for some volume right here? That gets you interested. Oil and gas, right? So nice move right there, trying to work its way to the 50-day moving average. But watch that. Just be careful with the 50-day. It's a good breakout move right there, but it's not necessarily breaking out. So good stuff there. And then INO. Tracy, let's say that. I know. So it is, just kind of, just kind of getting tight in here, right? It's starting to break down a little bit. That volume is just kind of like blah. Right? Maybe INO. Eventually, INO should be an epic short, right? I do think Citron's analysis on this thing was pretty decent, right? So, I think they've done like fake vaccines before where they've gotten some big boosts in the past, right? So, but see how it holds right here. I think eventually it's probably going to flush, but you just wait for the volume on it and see if you can ride that wave on that. So it should be pretty good. Yeah, and then Mr. Green, the IWM. Let's take a look. So the IWM. Decent, right? So we finally got above the 200-day moving average on the IWM, so that's good, right? A little bit of an outside candle, but it did close green. But that helps because a lot of the small cap names were green today, even though like the big names, right, like Apple, Amazon, et cetera, were red, right? So this one really doesn't care about it. So it is hanging in there today. Obviously, it's affected by the overall market, but right now it's doing okay, right? It's holding its own right now. So we've got, let's activate this right here. So we got this here. Right, so it's going to stretch out that trend right there. We're still holding trend, right? We're back above the 200 days, so that's pretty interesting on it. Definitely keep an eye on it, see if it outholds. This outside day is going to be very interesting with the big upper shadows. So keep an eye on that one too. So good stuff. Awesome. Well, I really appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. It's been a really fun series this week, talking about compressions, guys. That stuff is really important on any time frame. Right, just zoom out, man. Get the 200 foot view on it. Right, very, very helpful stuff. So definitely look for that. Look for your breakouts and look for direction on it. Right, so really, and then there's of course other chart patterns that we talked about: the flags, the triangles, the inside candles, things like that. That clue you in that hey, compression is happening. And then USO, yeah, USO got a little bit of a well, the oil names got a little bit popped today, but USO itself was like, no. Right, so it doesn't necessarily trade with the oil names, but yeah, it's a little bit blah right here. See if you can break out over these highs. You got this going on right here too. So really super duper tight. Look for a strong move on that one way or the other. But right now it's kind of blah. So good. All right, guys. Well, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. If you're new here, definitely click subscribe on YouTube and be sure to hit the notification button. Why? Because we do a video in the morning around 7 a.m. where we prep for the market. We do one at lunchtime to kind of update and see where we're at during the day. And then we do a market wrap video too, and plus our live streams here. And then we do some other cool videos too, educational stuff as well. So definitely be sure to tune into that. Also, check out the links in the description. It's got links to our website and our Twitter page. So if you're just joining from YouTube, you can check out our charts on Twitter. If you really like what you see too, definitely go to our website and check out the different services we have. I do an option group during the day where we go live at the open and close, and we keep a Discord room open all day, and we look for setups there too, and we chat and have fun, when the market's open. So anyway, good stuff, and at night too. So we're still chatting here in the background. So all right, guys. Well, I hope everybody has a great rest of your evening and an awesome weekend and a great trading day tomorrow. And we'll see you guys on Sunday night with a brand new series, and also tomorrow morning. So stay healthy out there, and remember your risk first, and stay safe. So you stay in the game. And I'll talk to you guys.